Hello, everyone. My name is Martin from WorldSkate, and I'm the head of the skateboard judging department. And I'm here to provide you with the recap on the first edition of the WorldSkate Skateboard Judging Certification Program, Level 1. For those who attend, we have held the first online testing session in mid-November. And we have attendees registered by the national governing bodies from all around the world. We held the online testing in both Olympic discipline, in street and park. And the whole testing was to basically monitor and see the capacity and the experience and the skills of aspiring judges from around the world who wants to get certified by WorldSkate and start their journey all the way to the top and potentially end up one day judging the Olympic Games. So big task, and we are starting on the national level, level 1. I am here to provide a recap, insight, and explanation on how the test works, point out some of the areas where some of the attendees had trouble, provide clarification on aspects of the chapters of the online testing, and simply put, provide you the overview of what went down during the online testing. So let's move ahead. The whole online testing was divided in 3 main segments. The first segment was theory and skateboarding common sense. Second segment was video testing. Video testing was supposed to simulate the real event environment. We have used footage from previous events, and we chose events from the early stages of the Tokyo Olympic qualification season, which means that the footage was approximately 5 years old. Why? To provide you a level of skateboarding that since that time became normal on national levels in most countries around the world. And the third segment was testing on note-taking. So I will go segment by segment, and I will start with the theory and skateboarding common sense. Then I will move to note-taking, and at the end, I will dive into the video testing. As a bonus, our Olympic head judges in both disciplines, Mr. Garrett Hill from United States of America in street and Mr. Renton Millar from Australia for park, will provide you with an online testing recap where they explain the reasoning and the applied judging criteria behind the awarded scores, behind the correct answers. So let's start. So to start off, to kick off, we gonna focus on the first segment, theory and skateboarding common sense. This segment was focused on knowing and being familiar with the WorldSkate competition rules and the elementary basics of knowing skateboarding. The segment was in 10 questions. Out of those questions, the majority was focused on the simple, basic terms and principles from the WorldSkate competition rules. And the rest of the questions were simply focused on skateboarding, on your understanding of tricks, mechanics, and basically the foundations of skateboarding, which is the elementary skill that all skateboard judges must have, of course, besides their personal experience with skateboarding. So, to put it in the box, if you are judging a contest, you must know the rules that you follow while judging the contest. And the question that we put in this segment, they're very simple. They were just to see if you understand who is who in the competition, who is having a responsibility. For example, who is it that decides if a trick was a make or a bail? Or who is a course manager, and so on. Very simple questions, and for those who read World Skate Competition rules, this was a simple task. When it comes to skateboarding common sense, we focused on defining tricks like what is a Bennett grind, what is a Barley grind, and a trivia question, what is harder, if it's a backside or front side. To everyone who is familiar with skateboarding and have some personal experience with skateboarding, this was simple. Although some of the attendees had trouble and did not complete or succeed in this segment. For those, I would suggest to read the competition rules. Pay attention when you read it, think about it, or when you watch footage from our events, look at the situation to better understand. They are self-explanatory in a majority of cases, and they are applied and they repeat event by event. The competition rules don't change. And as I said before, all judges must be familiar and know the rules that they are following. The final segment of the online testing was focused on your note-taking skills. As we explained in our online educational videos many times, and as our head judges are explaining in their event recaps, personal notes are the #1 helping tool for every judge. You, as judges, must master your personal notes because not every event has an instant replay or any other technical means to help you while judging. Therefore, your personal notes are the #1 tool that you should rely and use while judging every single performance. They help you to cross-reference, they help you to be more sharp, more accurate, and orient in your scores. It doesn't come easy, you must work on it, but with time, every good judge master their personal note-taking and relies on their notes. Some of your colleagues might miss a trick. Thanks to your notes, you can help them out and make the whole panel more accurate. This helps not only to you as judges, but it sends a strong message to all participating athletes. They need to know that you see them and that you know what they did. Notes are your #1 helping tool. As a result of note-taking, some people had big problems with it. They were not able to follow the runs, the performances, or the tricks and make their notes. And at the end of the day, they failed in the note-taking test. For those guys, I would suggest, please practice at home. Work on your abbreviations, make shortcuts for each trick. So when you look at it, you know what kind of trick that was. You can improve your notes by adding some additional shortcuts, additional marks to it. So when you look at it, you know how the trick looked, how well it was done, or where it was done. And it will help you greatly to be more accurate, more precise when you're judging. Personal advice and a tip: most of the athletes in the competition, they don't change the entire run. So if you miss something in a run number one, you can look at the run number two and complete your notes to be even more accurate and precise and track down the little differences. So that's a tip for all those who had trouble with notes. On the other hand, we had some who excelled and their notes were perfect based on the replies they submitted to the online testing, and they had a 100% rate of success in this exercise. So congratulations to those guys. And please keep in mind, note taking is a constant process. The bigger the events, the higher the level of the events, the more difficult it is to follow. And therefore, you need your note-taking skills to be on point and be sharp. So don't stop improving, keep working on yourself, and you will see that it will help you greatly. The video scoring exercise in both disciplines, in park and street, was composed of man division and a women division to provide you the full spectrum of the main categories that you judge. You had one heat of men and one heat of women in park discipline, and one heat of men, one heat of women, and one single trick per athlete in man division, and one single trick per athlete in a women division in that street discipline. During the entire Paris 24 Olympic cycle, we have been releasing event judging recaps and video edits done by our head judges, explaining the process of scoring behind the awarded scores and focusing on the details, what went down in the minds of the judges and the judging panel before they awarded the score that appeared on the big screens or in the results, and how they created the ranking. So you could use those as your preparation and studying materials. We have also been releasing a PDF version that is free to download from the WorldSkate website. And basically this provides you a textbook with photos where you can look at the performances, see how they were awarded in that particular skate park, and how performances evolve with the progression, and how their scores evolve with the progression in time throughout the Paris Olympic cycle. Same with single tricks in the street discipline. These ledgers are a very good tool for you to study judging and its evolution, and also see the progression of skateboarding. I would like to explain what it means that the scores are the tools to create accurate ranking. Throughout the previous Olympic cycle, we have been explaining throughout our educational channels, on the athletes or technical meetings at our events, that scores are awarded based on the level of judging criteria met, and their main objective is to create the most accurate ranking for all participating athletes. How does that work? That tool, that score that creates that ranking position is the overall panel score. That is the score that appears on the big screen. That score itself is a result of a computation process where individual scores from the panel members are put together and processed. We have been explaining that the highest and the lowest score are dropped, and the remaining three are average. That average is the overall panel score that appears on the screen and creates that ranking position. Now, how to achieve the utmost accurate ranking position with the overall panel scores? We achieve it by having all panel members aligned and scoring within a tolerable range of points from each other. That range is called point spread tolerance. That point spread tolerance ensures that when individual panel members enter their scores, the result doesn't come out distorted or completely wrong to what they see as fit and correct score. Therefore, it is very important that judging panel calibrate their vision, calibrate their scale, and follow it throughout the entire event while applying the same judging criteria on the same basis. How to achieve this precise calibration of all panel members? This is done by using the anchor score. And what is an anchor score? Anchor score is a performance that is agreed by all panel members for a certain point evaluation. All judges enter the same score, and throughout the entire event afterwards, follow, measure, and compare, cross-reference all following performances with that anchored performance and its score. So now explain how the judging scale works. The scoring scale applies to the particular event phase and is based on two main factors. First, the level of skateboarding in that particular event phase, the particular event round. Number two, the number of participating athletes. The scale can change day to day because the level of skateboarding changes from event phase to event phase, and the number of participating athletes, the skaters, changes as well. You can see that throughout a longer period of time when you compare results in one season event to event or one season to another season. This is for the same things and the general progression of skateboarding. There are new tricks being invented and done for the first time. Judges must adjust the scale. The scale range doesn't change. It is always from 0 to 100 and using 2 decimal places. But there are more and more tricks. The currently most difficult tricks become the usual standard few months from now or few years from now. What has been the never been done trick before becomes the usual practice for majority of the skaters with time passing. Therefore, the scale changes. Therefore, there are no firmly assigned scores to any skateboard performance. And therefore, the scores are only the tools to create the most accurate ranking of the event results. What we did in this online testing, we provided you an anchor score. This is exactly the set bar and the calibration of the scale for your further scoring. An anchor score that you were provided was carefully selected to represent a balanced run performance or a single trick in street discipline to provide you a cross-reference point for your further judging. All anchored scores were first showcased in a video, then you could see the transcript of the whole performance, and then you could see the awarded score. This was your reference for all following rounds. Good judges know that every performance after an anchor score is compared and measured with that anchor, and scores are awarded based on this comparison. So this was your anchor round. After explaining you the mechanics of scores being the tools to create the ranking, point spread tolerance ranges, and anchor score, I will focus now on the system of evaluation from the video segment of our online testing. So how did we evaluate your results? As I said before, our head judges in both disciplines, street and park, evaluated and awarded scores in the current day standard to the performances included in the online testing. Those scores were the points where the point spread tolerance ranges started. We have set up 3 point spread tolerance ranges. First one, that point spread range is 10 points, 5 points lower from the ideal score and 5 points higher. Second point range was 14 points, going 7 points down and 7 points up from the awarded score by our head judges. And the third was 16 points, meaning going 8 points down and 8 points up. We did not expect you to be absolutely correct, but what we wanted was you to score within one of these point spread tolerance ranges, and that to pass the online testing exam, you had to be correct within these point spread tolerance ranges, at least with half of your submitted scores. From our point of view, this was a fair environment, and it should showcase that you were able to follow the anchor score, have good judging notes to be able to compare and cross-reference with the performances in this online testing exercise, an award score that is close to the ideal score awarded by our head judges. So 50% in one of the 3 point spread tolerant ranges to pass the exam. And as communicated prior to the online testing start via the World Skate bulletins dedicated to the Judging Certification Program. Those who did not complete, meaning did not finish the full test, were excluded from further evaluation and did not pass. People who didn't finish one of the segments of the online testing set were excluded from further evaluation and lost their right to be certified. Now, I will focus on some of the areas and some of the issues that attendees encountered and showcased during the online testing. So let's move on that. I would like to mention one important thing when it comes to judging and entering scores into any scoring system used around the world. Every judge must pay attention to either instructions on how to enter scores and differentiate between point and comma. Why? Because if you want to enter your score correctly, the system must know what you want to enter. And if the system doesn't read comma and reads only point, you must enter the scores using that point on your keyboard or in the scoring system tool. Why I say this is because some of you experience issues. They were not following the instructions and they were entering scores in different formats than requested. However, a good news for all of you, we have evaluated the input from the scoring systems. So we transfer the data and transcript them the way you entered the same numbers in the correct format. Now, why is it important? In the real-time events, if you enter your scores wrong, not only the scoring system doesn't read them or can mark them as incorrect, but usually you need to change them. The head judge or the scoring system operator will ask you, hey, what was the score you wanted to enter? And you need to enter it again. This takes time. If you do it many times in a wrong way, the time delay piles up, and skaters, the athletes participating in the event, your colleagues in the judging panel are waiting. And therefore, it is very important to pay attention and enter the scores correctly. The same applies for double checking on the numbers that you want to enter before submitting the score. You must be sure that this is the right number that you want to enter for the scoring system, that this is the score that you want to award for the performance. Same as with the wrong format. If you enter your score wrong, you don't realize it, it will be wrong in the scoring system. If you enter a score wrong and you want to change it, it takes time. So please pay attention to these and keep it in mind every time you judge on the event. It is very important. And first, you want to enter the scores that you want to enter the right scores, and you want to be on time. You don't want to create delay, and you don't want to make the skaters waiting. Now I would like to talk about the use of 2 decimal places within scoring. For those who follow our events, we have been using 2 decimal places, meaning 2 decimal numbers, in our scoring systems since the Tokyo qualification season and the entire Paris Olympic qualification season as well. There are a few reasons why 2 decimal places are important and very useful. First, when you judge an event with a huge number of participating athletes, using 2 decimal places helps the judges to create that ranking by awarding very precise scores to athletes' performances and preventing potential ties. Second reason that is very important is to differentiate performances that are very similar to each other and be able to distinguish these little nuances by awarding scores that are within the same range, but not the same. Again, creating the utmost accurate ranking that is fair. Please note that at some of the World Skate sanctioned events in the Olympic qualification season, we had more than 200 participating athletes in a men division in street discipline and over 130, sometimes close to 150 athletes in the men division in park discipline. With women, we had more than 100 in a street discipline and close or around 100 in the park discipline. Keep in mind that the range of the judging scale is from 0 to 100. Therefore, with such huge numbers of participating athletes, the 2 decimal places, the use of the 2 decimal numbers is very useful and very important in the work of all judges. So my message to you is, please use them wisely. Use them for these reasons when you judge. Next thing that I would like to point out, and is related to use of the 2 decimal places, is judges should never award the same score to 2 or more different performances. And this was the case with some of you attendees during the online testing. Some of the aspiring judges, some of the attendees of the online testing were awarding same scores to 2 or more different performances from different athletes within this one group. Now, the point is, you have to ask yourself, these runs were not the same. The athletes didn't do the same trick, and therefore awarding a same score for such different and varied performances is not correct. So please keep it in mind and learn from this. All right, I would like to congratulate to all of you who succeeded in our first edition of the World Skateboard Judging Certification and are now our first certified level 1 judges. So I will start with the park, where I'm very pleased to have and announce that we also have first certified female judges. So big respect and congratulations to Josefina Tapia Varas from Chile, Liu Wenbo from China, David Lestrade from France, Clement Kasek from France, Maya Jacquemin from France, Julia Rolina from France, and Louis Yi Qing from Chinese Hong Kong. You guys were the ones who passed the first test and are now our level 1 certified world skate judges in park discipline. In street discipline, I would like to congratulate to David Lestrade from France, Jean-Philippe Trioulet from France, Clement Casek from France, Francesco Polita from Italy, Josef Daniel Weaver from Italy, and Jakub Michalski from Poland. Congratulations, guys. You were amazing and you succeeded. You are our first level 1 certified World Skate skateboard judges in street discipline. And to highlight some of the people who did not succeed but show great potential, I would like to name especially Daniel Dujsík from Czech Republic. Daniel, you were excellent, and I'm sure you will succeed in the next edition. Just focus on the little things, especially knowing competition rules. You need it as a judge. And I'm sure that with your skills as a judge, you become an excellent skateboard judge in both disciplines. And second person that I would like to highlight is Ariana Bautista. Ariana, great thing as well. Just work on yourself, improve in those areas. And same as to Daniel, you will become great. Another one, Sophia Cook. Great job, Sophia. Keep working on yourself, focus on demand performances, and please come back for the next edition. Thank you very much, everyone, and thank you for watching.